right, how's everybody doing? Digital Pastor here. I'm just doing a live stream today. It is Monday after Sunday. Sunday is the day before Monday. But I wanted to see how everybody's Sunday went. And I'm going to just allow a couple minutes to go by, let people jump on the live stream. But go ahead and comment below if you're watching. Let me know where you're streaming from. And let me know, how did your live stream go on Sunday? Maybe you're a church that just started live streaming, or maybe you've been doing it for a while and you're trying to just fine-tune everything and make it a lot better. Let me know in the comment section below how things are going. And I just want to give people some time to ask some questions, maybe talk about some things that didn't go well in your live stream and just get some help. I want to be able to help you right now. So go ahead and comment below anything that you have questions about, and let me know how your service went. Maybe it went awesome. Maybe it was flawless. You guys just hit everything perfect. Or maybe it was a disaster. I can tell you for our church, we tried a little new audio system that we had a couple kinks in, and it was not good. I'm going to actually bring up that video here in a minute. And so we had a bunch of audio problems that I need to fix this week. So don't be discouraged. We even get problems at our church as well. But go ahead and put in the comment section below if you got any questions. I'm going to try to help you guys out today, and hope you guys had an amazing service yesterday. And let's just open it up for some comments. We're going to let people just get on here for a couple minutes and just see how everybody's doing, how everybody's Sunday service was. All right, we got a comment here. We'll put that up on the screen. Hold on, let me get my title up here. Okay, trigger overlay number 2. All right, automatically update. Okay, let's start with Ruben. Let's send that over. All right, so Ruben says, hey, I'm having trouble getting a good mix on my live stream. Well, hey, Ruben, you are in luck because we are going to be doing a video, hopefully today. I'm working on the script on how to get a great audio mix. Many times in streaming, audio is, not many times, in my opinion, audio is more important than video. Because if you have an awesome audio mix and a so-so video mix, that's way better than amazing video and really poor audio. So we're going to be getting that into that a little bit, but comment below, Ruben, how you are doing your live stream. How are you bringing your audio in? What are you using, like an aux bus, or how are you doing your audio? So we'll get you that here in a moment. We got I'm not sure how to say this. I'm probably going to butcher it. John Thinzen, I think. We'll put him up. He just says greetings from Spain. Awesome. I don't know what time it is in Spain, but God bless you. Glad to have you here. You want to create one for your live church. All right. I'm not sure what you want to create. I don't know if you want to do a live stream. Let's see. Jay Bird. Jay Bird says, I'm not crazy about the new Facebook live stream start page. I'm not sure if I'm familiar with the live stream start page. Is there something that's changed? Actually, I wonder if I saw something on Sunday, because what we did is we had a really big TV, because nobody's in our church, right, except for our worship team. We put a big TV in the front, and we put the social updates, all the Facebook updates on the TV, so I can see them as I'm up on stage and I can interact with people. But I'm not sure what that new Facebook live stream start page is. Well, since I'm streaming from vMix, so we actually don't have to go into our web browser at all to be able to stream right to Facebook. So maybe you're talking about the little stream key that you have to get for Facebook. All right, John, you said I always get the off-sync audio from video. How much is your audio and your video off, and what comes first? There's a couple things that can get your audio sync off. Like if you have like a big delay or latency in your capture, so if you're capturing into Wirecast and maybe your computer's slower, your capture card is slower, then there can be some delay that's built into there. One of the ways that you can improve the delay time or to match it up is many times, I'm not sure if Wirecast does, but there'll be like an audio or video delay. So what you can do is you can play with those delay numbers inside of your software, and you can keep doing that until you can get the audio to match up. So yeah, give that a try. It sounds like you're using Wirecast. I think Wirecast can do some sort of an audio video delay. And then what you want to do is you want to do like some sort of a clap test. And that clap test will help you play around with the settings of your audio and your video delay to get them to match up well. Viento Fuerte Church, God bless you. Tom, pastor, our Facebook stream was started on time, but the recording posted started late or delayed. So I'm not sure exactly what happened. So did you have like a pre-recorded video that you played? It started on time, but the recording posted started late, delayed. I'm not exactly sure what you're talking about there. Wow, a 5-second delay. Yeah, as long as so like the way that we're doing it with Facebook is, so we're scheduling a live stream and then we're already publishing. So we publish before the live stream starts so that once the schedule hits, so we've got a 5-minute countdown for our live stream. And so that 5-minute countdown is programmed into ProPresenter. So ProPresenter automatically triggers that 5-minute countdown 5 minutes before service starts, but then we're already streaming to Facebook. But then when that 5-minute countdown happens, then Facebook will go live. And so the live stream will start right when that countdown should be starting. Yeah, 5-second audio delay. There is definitely something wrong. You should not have a 5-second audio delay. If you're getting more than a second of delay, even a second of delay is a lot. There's something else going on. It might be something with your computer. So you want to check that out. Stephanie Davidson, any tips for getting audio not to clip when going from the soundboard to the live stream using vMix? Okay, so this is sorry, my chair is like squeaking here. There's something called gain structure, and gain structure is really important because it determines, or it's the theory or the the way to make sure that you have the correct gain from point to point in all of the links of your system, right? From your microphone to your mixer to your preamp to whatever audio interface you're going into. So one of the things that you want to do is, and I'm not sure how you're sending your audio to vMix, but you'll want to adjust your I'm guessing that you're probably doing an aux output from your board. You want to make sure that your aux output is turned down so it doesn't clip. And this is one of the things that we're going to get into in my video that I'm currently working on, which is the audio portion of your live stream. But typically your pastor's volume is like here, and then your worship band's volume is like here. So it's like you're like adjusting your volume. So once the pastor gets up, you adjust the volume of everything, and so you go whoop, and you turn everything up to where the pastor's good. But then what happens is this worship band is now way up here, and it's just like clipping the heck out of your microphone, right? So yeah, so you want to make sure that you set your gain levels during the worship band, and you want to give it a little bit of room, right? You don't want it coming up right up against it. You want to give it a little bit of headroom for your audio coming in. No, it just came on 5 minutes late. Yeah, I'm not sure. That's a great question. I haven't experienced that. So maybe you can try it again this Sunday and see what happens. Let's see, Ruben. We got another question from Ruben. I have an X32 at church, and we run a linked channel bus send. This send goes into an audio interface, DigiDesign MBox 2, which then something, I think it got cut off there. Well, first of all, if you've got an X32, I'm not sure everything you're using the X32 for, but the X32 has the built-in, if you've got the full-size one, it's got the built-in FireWire and USB. I would use that. I wouldn't go out of your board and then into the MBox and then into Pro Tools or whatever you're bringing it into. I would just go straight from your X32. And there might be some buffer there. Now, if you're going into Pro Tools or some other, 5 seconds is a huge delay. So there's definitely something going on there. I'm not sure what it is. Ruben. Let's see, Jaybird. Yeah, I use vMix as well, but to title the Facebook video, I go to the web browser of Facebook, and they changed that a couple of weeks ago. And then it gets cut off. So I don't know what version of vMix that you have. I'm running version 23. I think they fixed it, or because Facebook had their API changed in the past. Which then goes to OBS. I'm not sure why you send it out to OBS, but so Facebook you can stream right to, or excuse me, vMix you can stream right to Facebook, and you don't have to do anything like that. I'll just show you here really quick. I'm going to show you my desktop, what I'm looking at here. Local desktop capture, we're going to do number 1. Okay. So I'm going to take this title off, and I'm going to show you. So this is my screen. And so for your streaming, you can actually come right into your stream window, and you can see my stream key, but that's all right. But you can do, in your other ones, you can go to Facebook, and you can come right into here, into your Facebook, and you can actually create your live stream right within here, right? So I've got, oh, this is my pastor's account. But you can select the page that you want to do, and then you can stream. You can create a new stream, give it a title, give it a description. You can just create it all right here, and you don't even have to go to Facebook at all. So you shouldn't have to go outside of vMix. I'm not sure why you're going from vMix to OBS. But yeah, so I would just use vMix. You shouldn't need anything else. All right, let's see. Stephanie said, thanks. You are welcome. Let me make sure I'm getting all the comments that are coming in here. Let's see. But you revert back to the older... but you revert back to the older version, which I did this Sunday. Yeah, I'm assuming you're talking about vMix, so I'd want to make sure that you have the latest version of vMix. Let's see. If I go directly out of the X32 board via FireWire, would the audio mix be done from the board? So Ruben, I'm just going to throw that comment up here really quick. That's a great question. So the X32 by Behringer has a lot of options that you can do when you're running your audio. So when you're running it via FireWire or USB, it has the ability to do 32 by 32, which means you can do 32 out and 32 in. So what you can do is you can send whatever whatever is set up in your mix, or excuse me, in your setup for the X32, you can determine what you send over those 32 channels. So if you just want to take your main feed, if you've got a really good feed coming out of your board that's a good mix, you can just take that 1 and 2 track out of your X32 and bring that right into your streaming software. I'm going to see if I've got the Xedit app. I think I might grab that here just for a second. X32 edit. I'm just going to bring that up here, and I will actually show you. Oh no, this is the old product. Let me see if I can find the other one. X32 live software. Is it? No, that's the expansion card. What's that? They changed the name of it. Let me just download this here really quick. Thanks for staying on. Again, let me know. Comment where you're streaming from. I'd love to know where you guys are from. So comment below. What's your church name? Where you're located in the country. And maybe even, it's a little edgy, post your denomination too. Love to know. We've got some Baptists in the house, maybe some Methodists, maybe some Presbyterians. We'll see everybody that we got as I'm downloading this. I don't know if you guys can hear my squeaky chair. I need to WD-40 this thing. Let's see, X32 edit. Okay, it's just called X32 edit. So I'm just going to oh, that's Linux. I don't want Linux. All right, I'm going to bring this up for you. So this is the PC version of the X32's app. I'm just going to show this to you really quick. Let me desktop capture this guy. All right, so you've got this guy. So this is the software for your X32. So in the X32, if you go over to your setup tab, you can go over to this card. Now the same thing is true. It just looks different when you're actually physically in front of the mixer. Oh, it says no card installed. Darn it. All right, hold on. I'm gonna have to find a picture here really quick. Hold on, just a second. Card out. And let's bring this in. Okay, so perfect. Let me see if this is a good resolution. Save image, desktop. Okay, I'm just gonna bring this image in for y'all watching. Again, if you're just joining us, comment below where you're streaming from. Would love to know where you're at. All right, so this is the with the card out. If you have firmware version 4.0, it's a little more gray. They've kind of changed the interface with the latest firmware for the X32. But this is, you can actually tell it what to output, right? So the card out, just by default, it's going to send all the channels, but you can actually scroll down. You can see all these AES 50 and below. If you keep scrolling down, you can find different things that you can output. So you can output an aux, you can output, I'm not sure if the main left and right is listed there, but one of the things that you can do is you can select the output, like your physical 16 outputs of the back of your X32, the XLR outs. You can select those as the card or the FireWire USB output. And so say you've got a channel like 15 and 16 sending out your main left and right from your board. What you would do is you would set your expansion card to output the XLR out 9 through 16. And then so that would end up being, so channel 15 and 16, which is your main left and right out, would be like channel 7 and 8 on your card. So you can select anything, you can assign whatever you want on your card out, and it's even more customizable in the latest version of the firmware for the X32 as well. So hopefully that answers your questions, and I'm going to get more into detail with that with our next audio tutorial. Let's see. Whoa, got a bunch of comments here. How do I use camcorder to stream Facebook Live? I'd suggest go to my video on capture devices. I'll try to link that in the description below. I have vMix 22. Can I set up Facebook that way on vMix 22? I'm not sure. vMix 22, I think, still has the old API with Facebook to where it only allows you to do... Oh, if you're just going to Facebook, I think you can still do, like, create a title within just vMix. But I could be wrong. Dante expansion card. Awesome. So I'm actually looking for one of those right now. So I was using my USB to FireWire, and I actually want to go to Dante. Dante's a great card. The thing is that they're expensive. They're about $600 to $700 depending on where you get it. But the Dante card, you plug in, you take out the USB and FireWire card in your X32, and then you put in the Dante card, plug in your network cable to that, and then it makes all 32 channels of your X32 available on the network. And anybody can have access to it, which is great. So you can have somebody running like a Pro Tools mix or recording or whatever, or you could bring another feed into vMix. So anybody on the network has access to that audio at that point. So Dante is fantastic. God bless you, Ruben, Jay Bird. Got a Pentecostal in the house, Emmanuel Church, San Antonio, the Influence Church, International Church of Oahu. Sweet. Got some Hawaiian church going on here. St. Michael Lutheran in Fort Wayne, Indiana. God bless you. WD44A. Squeaky chair, that's good. Man, this thing is... I'm going to change... Hold on. This thing is annoying me. I'm going to get another chair. Hold on. Just a second. All right. Okay. I'm hoping this one isn't squeaky like the last one. All right. Much better. Thank you. Okay. Hi, Olivia. Good to see you. Apostolic Church, Memphis. Ismael Gonzalez. Doing good with my live stream. God bless you. Thank you so much. But in the comments section below, if you let me know how your guys' live stream went on Sunday. If it was a disaster, let me know. Ask if you have any questions, comment below, because I want to be able to take this time and help you guys out. I know Sunday was just yesterday, and you guys are probably working on tweaking some things, making it better. But comment below how we can help you and give you some info that'll be an encouragement to you. Let's see. Let's put a couple more of these on. Oh, we got. Ronderick Henry, New Direction Church Baptist, Moreno Valley. God bless you. Let's see. All right, Ruben. Ruben's got another question. We're planning to use vMix this weekend. Is there a way to add lower thirds from a presentation software such as Easy Worship? I saw your previous video, but it's for ProPresenter. So yes, you can. So it's done in a little bit of a different way. So Easy Worship, depending on which version you have, I think both 6 or 2009, and I think 6 and 7. I'm not up to date on all the versions, but there's a thing called a fold-back display, and that would be the equivalent of like the ProPresenter stage display. And so it's a separate output. So you've got your main display, which goes up on your projector, and then you can do a third output, which is your fold-back display, which is like for musicians and such. So what you can do is you take that fold-back display, which you would need a third output from your video card, or you can do, there's like a USB, I think I've got one over there. There's like a USB to VGA adapter that just creates a third output. And so you can either capture that third output via a capture card, or you can use the vMix desktop capture and then just capture that over the network. And you just run it on the Easy Worship machine, and then vMix pulls that data over. But what you do is you make sure that your fold back display has a black background or a green background. And once you get that into vMix, you can chroma key or luma key it out. If it's green, you use a chroma keyer. If it's a black background, you use a luma keyer. And then that's basically going to take out the background, and so the lyrics will show up, and then you can just overlay it as an overlay channel. So Easy Worship, well, I think actually Easy Worship has a built-in NDI output. So the new Easy Worship 7, I think, has an NDI output that you can just capture that within vMix. Let's see. Ronderick says, my live stream went great. Finally got the audio levels to the stream just right. We're using tracks right now for music. All right. God bless you. That's great. That's a really hard thing to do, which is to get your audio levels really good. And that's why I love vMix, because vMix can actually do plugins on your audio. So I'm just going to show you my desktop here really quick. And so here's my vMix session. So if I go over to my audio mixer here, what I can do is on my master, I can open this up, and I'm going to go to my plugins. And what I can do here is I can add a plugin. So I've got a couple Waves plugins installed on this machine, one of them being max volume. So I'm going to do max volume, and I'm just going to show you really quickly what this is going to do. This is one of my favorite plugins for audio. And what this would do is a couple of things. So there is a low-level compressor right here. And what this does is there's a threshold that basically says when I turn this on, anything below this level here, boost it up this much volume, this many dB. So I'm going to do this really quick just to show you. So this is my threshold. As you can see, there's nothing here because everything that's coming through my microphone right now is above this level. But as I slide it up, you see that it's going to supplement and it's going to give me more volume. So this is a great way to get more volume because it gives you more volume without smushing and compressing the heck out of your top end. Because a lot of times if you try to compress your stream too much, it's going to just crush the mix and it's going to not sound good. But as you can see, as I'm talking, this little yellow line is giving less volume because I'm hitting above this threshold. But if I stop talking, you can see that there's a lot more volume, and then once I go over that volume, it's backing off how much it's giving me. So this is a great way to really thicken up your mix without just demolishing your low end, and you can play around with this. I can move this from 15 dB, I can go down to here to just a couple dB, and that just gives me a little bit of extra oomph on the low end. But no, this is a great software. I'm actually going to leave that on here because I really like this app, or this plugin. And another thing you can do as well is, do I have it on here? Nope, it's just max volume, I think. Yeah. All right, so let's get back to this here. Let's take a couple more questions. Viento Fuerte Church from Waco, Texas. God bless you. Waco. I love Texas. That's where my wife is from. My wife's from McKinney, Texas. I got married in Texas. We're using a phone and Mevo Plus and Behringer X18. Curious if that can be hooked up together. Let's see. Hold on. Need to go and... where did that go? No, I was curious if it can be hooked up together to use or even using an iRig. I don't think, if I remember right, I don't think that the Mevo Plus can bring in audio. I think it's just the camera. You might, I don't know if it'll allow a phone. I think there's a microphone in the Mevo. I'm not sure on that one. That's a great question. I don't think that I have the best answer for you. Oh, phone is for Facebook and Mevo is for YouTube. Yeah, that's a tough one. Let's see, hold on. Oh, thank you for reminding me of that. I need to turn off my limit text here. No. All right, let's refresh. All right, Jaybird, I implemented your idea of a countdown timer this past Sunday. I have always wanted to, but it works great in this season. Amen. Glad that worked for you. Let's see. Ruben says, how many cameras do you use at your church for your church's live stream? So right now, like I said, we're a smaller church. We're about probably 50 or 60 people, but right now we have 2 cameras. So we have the Sony FDR AX100 for our main camera, and then this last Sunday we actually have a PTZ Optics, the 2nd generation HDMI, SDI, NDI version, and then we mounted that kind of at a side angle. I'll actually kind of show that to you as well. But right now we're doing 2. I want to get a third to do a GoPro in the drums, because that's always a great angle to be able to get in. Let's see. Roderick says, how can I get the program you have or suggested about getting ProPresenter 6 into vMix's lower thirds? Great question. I'm going to put that in the chat below. The only place I've got it listed right now is in the vMix forums, but all the instructions on how to do that, I'm going to make a video on it at some point, but I'm going to put it in the chat section below. I'm going to pin it to the top, and so you guys can, whoops, let's see if I can pin. I don't think I've ever pinned something. I'm kind of a face, or I haven't done a lot of YouTube live. Let me see if I can pin this up to the top. Doesn't seem like it's allowing me to do that. I'm not sure how to do that, but you can see that in the comment section below. That'll give you a link on how to get there. Can you mix multiple cameras directly from vMix? Ruben says, absolutely. You absolutely can do that. You know what? You can actually stream a ton of cameras and mix between a ton of cameras. There's an Obsidian reference build on the vMix website that actually shows you all the parts to buy to build a computer that can bring in 24 cameras right into a computer. If you guys have ever heard of things called like a TriCaster or a live stream studio, those are just the same thing. They're essentially computers with capture cards that have multiple inputs. So you can bring in however many cameras that your system can support. So if you've got enough RAM, you've got enough processing power, graphics power, I mean, you could bring a ton of cameras into vMix. I used my iPhone XS Max as a static camera via NDI. vMix, I was amazed at the quality, better than the camcorder. Well, I'm glad you're able to get some good video. I think the new NDI camera app has the, I don't know if it's the NDI HX, but the lower bitrate one of the NDI, so you're able to have it go over the network. Because NDI typically at its full quality is about 100 megabits a second, which is really pushing the limit for most people's wireless network speeds. And Ruben, God bless you. You are very welcome. And what I'm going to do actually right now is I'm going to play some of the audio that we had from Sunday, so that you guys can see. Again, if you're just joining us, comment below where you're streaming from. Let us know. Let us know where you're streaming from, where you're watching from, what your church name is, and what your denomination is. Just curious about where everyone's coming from. But I'm actually going to try to bring in the audio from our Sunday service, so I can show you what was happening. It was a little glitch with like a driver or something, but just really quickly, so the headphones. Okay, great. So I'm going to be able to solo this. Hold on just a second. I'm going to bring in our feed here really quick from Sunday and some of the issues that we were having. So don't feel bad. If you guys have a live stream that's ever not gone well, or you've had technical difficulties, don't feel bad. Mike Todd, God bless you. Milpitas, California, Calvary Assembly of God. God bless you. Love Assemblies of God. Love their exegetical verse-by-verse study of Scripture. Calvary is great. Okay, so I'm going to add my Facebook feed from this Sunday and show you the little bit of a train wreck that it was. I'm the most techie person, so this new system we were doing, it was really a bad decision on my part. We shouldn't have done it because we hadn't tested it as much as we should have. But I'm going to just show you here really quickly. God bless you, Mark Heppy, New Zealand Grace Ministries, New Zealand. I'm a noob, just need help on audio. Yeah, audio is tough. I'm going to show you our audio mix when it was working. It was sounding pretty good. I'm just going to bring that up on the screen here really quick. Stand by for a second. Also, if you need some help with some issues that you had on Sunday, please let me know. We'd be glad to answer any questions that you guys have. And I'm going to solo this. Hold on. Check. Okay, good. Check. Okay. Alrighty. So I'm going to bring up our live feed here really quick. Covenant Church. Thank you for your channel. God bless. Thank you, Mark. I appreciate it. How many cameras normally do you have to have a church like for a live streaming or so? JB Benz. I'm not sure what you mean. How many cameras normally have to have a church like for a live stream or so? Not exactly sure what you're trying to say, but you really only just need a couple cameras. I mean, you can do a whole lot with just 2 cameras. All right, let's see here. All right, so here is our live feed. Really quick. I'm gonna turn my audio plug-in off. All right, oh, hello, green screen, hello. All right, so this was our countdown, and we had already had issues right from the beginning.
This morning for your amazing love.
You hear that?
Father, for your amazing grace. God, thank you for everyone who is tuning in right
that
now
is
to
no
worship
bueno.
us as the body of Christ.
That is not
Father, I
good
thank you that
audio.
you would use who breaks the power of sin and darkness, whose love is mighty.
So really quickly. So as you can see, this is just bad. So this was a train wreck. So we were having issues with it's like a driver. That's why we're going to switch to Dante. We were going out of our X32 into Pro Tools and then back into the X32 via FireWire and then back into our vMix computer But I think we're going to run all of our channels into vMix via FireWire and see if that happens, because we switched from bringing our audio directly into vMix to going into Pro Tools first and then into vMix, and I think there's something with a driver or something going on. So we're going to try to bring all of our channels, all 32 channels, into vMix and then just do our plugins in vMix, because you can actually do audio plugins in vMix. So this first song on our first song for this Sunday, we're watching right now. This is Amazing Grace by Phil Wickham, and I could tell by the look on my wife's face in the media booth that like there was a problem. So after we finished that first song, I had everybody like greet each other online, and I went and fixed it. But you can tell like how bad this audio sounds. Hold on, Brenda Meyer, God bless you. Thank you for the reminder that it doesn't have to be perfect. No, it doesn't. Just work on getting the message out. Amen. I tend to focus on getting production right. That's me too. That is absolutely me. I appreciate your help and support on streaming. You are welcome. All right, so I'm just going to play a little bit more of this. This was a disaster. Just listen to this. This is terrible.
It's so much stronger, the King of Glory.
That's no point.
The King above.
So then I go up and then we get it fixed. I kind of go to the back, and then I think we got her fixed here. So this is our audio. When it was working, it was going right from the X32 into Pro Tools, getting a bunch of great processing plugins and everything, back to the X32 and then back into vMix. So the issue was sometimes it would get that crackly, but I'm just going to let this play just for a second more. And again, we're just a small church, about 50 people, and so you can get good audio if you do things right. So I'm going to just turn off my mic for a second so you can hear the mix.
Stop working, you never stop working, even when I don't see it, you're working, even you're worker, promise keeper, light in the darkness, my God, that is who you are, that is who you are, that is who you are, that is who you are.
The great thing about this one is there are only 2 cameras right here, so we're just switching between that PTZ camera and the main camera.
That is who you are.
That's who you are.
That is who you are. That is who you are.
Come on, sing it out. Come on, online, sing. Waymaker, miracle worker, promise keeper, light in the darkness, my God, that is who you are. Come on, just lift your hands. You never stop working with the wind. Oh, we trust in you, God. Oh, we trust in you, God, even when we see. Father, right now for Anita, God bless you, Anita. Father, we pray for Anita.
So as you guys can see, just a couple notes really quick here. So because we're running our effects through Pro Tools. Oh, and you can see there it is. So our audio started cutting out again because of the way that we were running it. And so now, I sound like Darth Vader. Yeah, we're just doing a little play-by-play here of the disaster that was on Sunday. Hold on, I'm just gonna move myself over here. So yeah, so this was not good. This was not good. So then as we were praying, I got the look again from my wife that it wasn't looking good. I'm just gonna bring this down a little bit. So then after we were done with our prayer time, you can hear it.
All I got to say is, you need to say you.
Oh yeah, listen to that. That sounds awful. So I had to come down and fix it. Oh, it was no fun. Then we got it working again. It sounded awesome.
Lynn is here. She's like, I'm bypassing Facebook. I'm just going to text Pastor Seth directly. I think that's awesome. God bless you, Elaine and Lynn.
So that was basically essentially our Sunday. So all that to say is don't feel bad. Whoops. Uh-oh. Now you can see the rest of my studio here. So don't feel bad when you don't have just like the perfect the perfect Sunday. When things go wrong, it's okay. The important thing is that you keep getting better. You keep working on it. You keep growing. Let's take a look at a couple more comments. Let's see. Ruben, any tips for matching two different cameras? I use the Sony A7 II, awesome, for our main shot, and we purchased the Canon Vixia HFR 800 and hope to use a GoPro for the drums. Using a GoPro is very forgiving, so don't feel like you've got to match your drum cam. Drum cams are always going to look a little bit different if you're using something like a GoPro. And I mean, at the point you're getting three cameras, I mean, it would be nice to have the Sony match with your other one, with your HFR 800, but you know, in vMix you can actually do color correction. I mean, if you're running three cameras, I mean, it's not the biggest deal. You'll just be able to tell that they're different cameras when you switch between your Sony camera and your Canon camera. But yeah, I always try to get the same cameras, right? If you're gonna have two shots, say you've got one right down the center and then one off to the side, try to get those to match, because when you're cutting in between those two, it's gonna be obvious that they're not the same cameras. PAUS, I think you were watching the other day. God bless you. So good to see you. Great musicians, blessed. Yeah, we do have some great musicians, but we're also using backing tracks. We use multitracks.com, which is a great worship resource. So whatever instruments you don't have, you can put. So we're planning to do a click track as well. Nadis, God bless you. Mark Heppy, amen. You guys rock. How many people do you have running the stream in the booth, and what roles do they control? So it depends on the Sunday. Sometimes we have one person running stream and the projection at the same time. And sometimes that's my wife, and sometimes we have some other volunteers doing that. I like to have two people there, one on projection and one on stream, but sometimes it's only one. So that's why I really like vMix, is a lot of times it can make it easy to run it as one person. So yeah, one on sound and then one on sound, one on projection, and then one on stream would be our ideal, but sometimes it's just one person on projection, and sometimes they're running projection and sound and stream. So don't feel bad if you don't have enough volunteers, but always be recruiting, right? If you're a media person, always be recruiting and develop people in their gifts. Even if they don't seem like they're very good, find a spot. That's what we're doing as media people, is we are coaches, we're leaders. We're trying to find somebody and plug them into a spot that they can do well in. So encourage you, just keep growing, keep recruiting, and you guys will get it. Everything went pretty smooth so far. Let's see, Jay Bird. Everything went pretty smooth after I figured out I loaded the wrong preset in vMix. Oh, I've done that before. And the stream key was invalid. Oh, bummer. I've done that before. Don't feel bad. Roderick says, wow, you're the lead pastor, worship leader, musician, and all-around tech guru at the church. LOL, same here, but I no longer play unless I absolutely have to. All of this can wear us out. Amen, brother. And just so you guys know, I do not like it that way. It is not my job as the lead pastor. It's not my job to be the preacher, the worship leader, the tech guy, and all of that. That's not my heart, because we're working on training up leaders and we need to duplicate ourselves. So don't get stuck in a position where you're like, man, I'm just going to do this position and nobody else can do it, or I'm going to cover all of these different positions. You always want to be duplicating yourself, right? We want to be duplicating ourselves. That's what discipleship is, not only in the spiritual realm, but in the physical realm of leadership and volunteering. So always be duplicating yourself. And you need to think, is there anybody else that can do this? A lot of times in leadership, they'll talk about if somebody else can do your job. Listen, this is something you want to write down. If somebody can do the job that you're doing 80% as well as you're doing it, then delegate it. So if there's somebody who can lead worship, and if they lead worship, they can do it like 80% about as good as you do, then let them do it. And then just keep duplicating yourself, because God has given everybody a gift in the body of Christ, and we always want to get people plugged into what their gifting is. Let's see. Thank you, just my wife. Hold on. Vanessa says, do you use iMovie? I'm not sure what you're talking about as far as, like, do we use it? We use Adobe Premiere for all of our editing, but we really don't do any post-processing editing or whatever. We just record and then upload. We'll upload straight to Facebook or YouTube. Or is your recording live? That's what you were asking. Yes, our recording is live. And again, hopefully that'll give you some encouragement that you don't have to be a massive mega church to be able to do a live stream, right? We have a church of like 50 or 60 people. Right, and I feel like we've got a decent live stream just for a smaller church. So don't be discouraged that you've got to have like a gajillion volunteers and a huge budget to be able to do a great live stream. Let's see, Betty Knotts. Let's see, you said I'm using vMix streaming to Facebook, but I've had a lot of freezing. I have FiOS, so I don't think it's that. It's mostly happening when using graphics on vMix. So it could be your computer. I don't know what computer you have, but I'm gonna switch over to my vMix session so you can see what's going on here. So there are these. I'm gonna try to zoom in here. There are these things in the bottom. I'm just gonna put up here really quick. So there's some statistics for your vMix session down here, right? So this statistic is going to. Oops, hold on. Where am I? Yeah, this statistic is going to be your frame rate. So I'm running 1080p at 5994. Oh, I've got an update. Your render time is how long it takes to basically render everything together and to basically spit it out. So it's only about 7 milliseconds. So if this number starts to climb, then you need to upgrade your graphics card most likely. Your GPU memory, I'm only at 6%, which is awesome. Let's see what else. Your CPU in vMix, so this is how much of your CPU vMix is using, and then your total CPU usage for the entire computer. So it could be that your computer is maybe not fast enough or have enough horsepower to be doing everything you're doing, or maybe your graphics card is lagging behind. You want to make sure you have a dedicated graphics card. When you're running vMix, I see a lot of people that they try to get away with running vMix with like the integrated graphics card on their motherboard. That doesn't work. You need a dedicated graphics card for your streaming because it's going to be doing a lot of the rendering. And not only is it going to be doing rendering and a lot of housekeeping things for vMix, but when you go to live stream, you can check the hardware encoder box. Here's a quick little tip freebie for everybody. So there is, when you're streaming, I'm going to cut back to here. When you are streaming in vMix, there is a box that you can see. Hold on, let me zoom in on it here. There is a box right here that you can see right here. It says use hardware encoder. What that means is that you can use your graphics card to encode the video so it doesn't use your CPU, your processor, and so it takes a huge load off of your CPU. So make sure that you have that ticked, because when you have a dedicated graphics card, it's going to use that dedicated graphics card to encode that video. Let's see. Jay Bird, during the shutdown, I am playing bass, Running audio and vMix 3 cameras during the same time. Yeah, come on, bro. I love it. That's awesome. A lot of you guys out there watching are probably wearing multiple hats at the same time when you are doing all of your technology and all of your media stuff. So try to have that not be the case, but sometimes you just don't have any other volunteers. That's why we always want to try to be recruiting. So good job. Brenda Meyer says, I'm praise team and streamer. No one else will help stream. Oh, I'm sorry. And I have to stay on the praise team. Oh no, I'm sorry about that. Well, just don't get discouraged. Keep trying to get people to volunteer, right? Try to make it fun. Whoops. So try to make it fun, right? Make people want to be in the media department. I always tell media people, media should be one of the easiest things to get people into because it is a blast. Like I know sometimes production and media can be like really like high stress and everything, but just make it fun, right? Make it like you get to play with all the fun technology. So make it the funnest department of the church. Wildcat, God bless you. Thank you for posting this. We had issues this week as well. All right, let me know what issues you had. Nadis, what do you think about recording and then schedule for upload to go live for a whole week? Is there a disadvantage? What do you think about recording and then schedule for upload? I'm assuming that you're talking about doing like a simulated live stream. I think a simulated live stream can be great. You know, the only downside to having like a pre-recording that you premiere live is that you can't interact with the people. So that's one of the great things about when you're doing a live stream. Like we have that big TV in the front row that we set up so I can be seeing people's comments and we could say, hey, type your comments in the comments, prayer requests, praise reports in the section below, and then we'll pray for you. And so there's this back and forth engagement that's able to happen. Let's see, Ruben's got another question about NDI. If I wanted to send lower third signal from Easy Worship to vMix, 2 different computers, does the Wi-Fi signal need to be strong or is it a separate process? A Wi-Fi signal needs to be strong because NDI typically uses a speed of about 100 megabits, and 100 megabits is probably going to be a stretch for most consumer Wi-Fi networks. Right? If you have something that can do faster than that, you can try it, but we always recommend doing a wired connection for NDI, but you can always try it and see how it works. Sorry, my dogs are being loud. Hey! Shh. All right. Do you suggest streaming at 1080p 60 or 30 frames a second? Hold on. I love doing, whoops, let me put this session up here. I love doing video at 1080p 60. And the reason is some people don't like it. Like I'm doing 1080p 60 right now. But I really love 60 because I feel like 60 frames per second gets better quality compression when you send that video out to stream. So if you're streaming to YouTube or Facebook or wherever, I feel like the compression ends up being more efficient when you're at 60. And so I personally like 60 frames a second, but that's just me. Let's see, JB Ben says, what is your church name on Facebook to see your church live on Facebook? So our church is called Covenant Church. We have 2 campuses, one in Spokane, Washington, and one in Moses Lake, and I pastor the one in Moses Lake, and our senior founding pastor is Pastor Ken Peters. And our Facebook is Covenant Church Moses Lake Campus. Covenant Church Moses Lake Campus, and if you guys want to check that out, you can. I'm going to put that in the comment section below here just a second. All right, I'm going to throw that in the chat real quick. All right. We're going to turn this YouTube live into tech support and an encouragement session. Amen, brother. Dude, I'm telling you what, man, be encouraged. Don't be if there's anything that I know that's going on right now is so many people are discouraged, man. They're worried. Maybe their tithe numbers are down because people can't come into the church and they can't give, and maybe you're employed by the church, or maybe you're just discouraged because you're distanced from so many people, or you're frustrated because stream isn't going the way you want to. And here's the other thing. You're going to see a lot of other churches' live streams on Facebook and YouTube. If I can give you an encouragement, do not compare yourself to another church. I struggle with this in a huge way. I see other people's live streams, other churches' live streams, and I get jealous. Or it's an indication about, oh, look at how great that church is doing, or look at their church's live stream, or whatever. Don't fall into that trap. Don't compare yourself. God has only called you to do what you can do. You're not called to do what those pastors are called to do. That tech team is called to do what they can do, not what you can do. So don't compare yourself to other churches and other live streams. It's so tempting, but don't do it. Don't compare yourself to other live streams. Are you going to stick with Pro Tools or use vMix with plugins exclusively? So that's a great question. It all depends on what happens when I go to try to bring in everything to vMix. So I've never tried bringing all of the channels into vMix and then to run them. Because the great thing about Pro Tools is that if you can get everything set pretty close, not a whole lot is going to change, right? It's little tweaks here and there. We don't have a worship team that like our gain structure is changing all the time. It's typically the same guitar player, same drummers, all of this. So all the levels are going to be pretty close. And the way that you process in Pro Tools is you can get it to where even if there is some variation and some gain, your plugins and your mixer are going to be pretty close anyway. So if I can get everything to sound right in vMix using all of those plugins without all of that static garbage that we had last time, then I'll probably just have everything go directly into vMix here. Let's see. Yeah, for audio, yeah. What are you using to show the comments on your screen? Right, that's a great question. So another awesome feature of vMix is a thing called vMix Social. So I'm going to send that to you here really quick. Now let me just add my other desktop. And just so you guys know, I'm running this production, this live stream right now, totally by myself. And that's why vMix is awesome. You're able to do a lot of different things really quickly and on the fly. So I'm just going to capture my desktop here and I'm going to throw it up on the screen. I'm going to take my self off. All right, so this is actually my second monitor, and as you can see, so this is called vMix Social, and it's part of vMix. And so what this allows you to do is I actually have my YouTube connected, so it's pulling this little vMix Social program, which is part of all of the vMix softwares. This is going to bring in all of my YouTube chat. So you just log in, and you're going to pick the stream that you've already started, and it's going to bring up this vMix Social queue right here, and then I've got my title inside of vMix that I've connected, and it will automatically trigger as I select comments. So as I come over here, I can select a comment, and it'll show with the little green button what I've already commented back. So we're going to use an amen right here. We're going to take Brenda's amen. So I'm going to click here, and then I'm going to hit send, and then watch, boom. Just pops up right there on the bottom. If they've got a profile picture, it's going to just populate it right there. We'll take a thank you. We'll send that out. Boom. Marks, we'll take that. We'll send it out. Boom. Stephanie, amen. That's the truth. Preach it. How did you create the blue background behind you? That's a mouthful. How did you create the blue background behind you? It's beautiful. So I actually did not create this background. I found something similar on YouTube, on Google Images, and I just modified it a little bit. So I'm not going to take credit for this super awesome blue background. So it's really in reality just a green screen. I'll show you my background here really quick. This is just my green screen that I've got. I'll show you here real quick. So you can see this is my studio, and I actually got this on a hinge. Right, so this is just like a green screen background that I've got kind of hinged to my camera, and then I've got just some lighting within here. Which, if you guys do any YouTube stuff, I'm a huge fan of indirect lighting. So I actually most of my lighting right now is totally indirect lighting. So I'll just show you really quick. I just kind of have a new setup this last little bit. Let me see if I can do this without the camera coming out. So I've got these little lights over here. Oh, is it gonna? So these little guys right here, they're actually shooting against the wall, and then it's reflecting back onto my face. And then I've got some up here that I'll show you. We got my microphone there, and then I've got a couple of lights up there that are just shining down, and then I've got a bunch of more lights shining off the ceiling. So I'm a huge fan of indirect lighting. So I think direct lighting right on people's faces tends to be like really harsh. And so I like taking light and bouncing it off walls, bouncing off stuff, and then it just makes the lighting super even. So that was just a little quick detour. And vMix is doing all of this right now. So I'm just going to put on my my chroma key. Oh, where'd it go? Oh, there it is. I'm going to put on my chroma key here really quick, put that back on. And I'm going to crop this out, crop that out. Boom. And we're back in business. All right, let's go back to our social chat. We'll take a little bit more time, answer some more questions. For scripture graphics, do you use vMix overlay or ProPresenter or Proclaim? If so, what's the advantage? Wouldn't you need another person to control it? So we actually use ProPresenter to put our lyrics and scripture up on the stage, and then we use that program that I put in the comment section below. We use that program to grab the data from ProPresenter, and then vMix is able to take that text data that we pulled from ProPresenter and make our own titles. So the title that you saw on our Facebook feed that we showed just a little bit ago, that was actually from ProPresenter that we pulled into this little program I made, and then that dumps it as an XML file. That XML file we then link to vMix data sources, and then it automatically generates that lower third, there's a title editor that I created, a lyric title and a scripture title, and so it automatically populates. So as whoever's running ProPresenter changes the lyrics, it changes it on the vMix computer, and there's no chroma keying or alpha keying, luma keying, none of that. It's all just text data, which is great. Let's see, Tulowit. Let's see, we use online.church to interact live with people while using a pre-recorded service. Very good platform for pastors interacting with people live during the church service. That's a great point. So you can be interacting with people live back and forth as you are doing your church online. And that's an awesome opportunity. It's just not going to be the video that is talking back and forth. It'll just be a pastor or whoever's in your chat section doing that. So that's another great option for sure. All right, we'll just give you guys just a couple more minutes. If you guys got any other questions, just let me know. Would love to be able to help you guys out. And then we'll get on going. All right, we'll just give you guys a couple more minutes. If you're just joining us, comment below where you're streaming from, your church name, give me your denomination, and how your live stream went this last Sunday. All right, so we got another question from Stephanie Davidson. What internet upload speed would you suggest for getting a lot of freezing? What internet upload speed would you suggest been getting a lot of freezing on Facebook Live? Now, Stephanie, remind me again what you're using for your streaming software. So it depends on the video quality that you're doing. I know that Facebook limits your upload, I think, to 3.5 megabits. Let me look that up. Bit rate. So Facebook says, so it's got a recommended bit rate of 4 megabits. So I think that's the max. That's the max bit rate. And so like we have amazing internet in Moses Lake. So we all have fiber in the whole city. So you guys are gonna hate me for this, but we actually get 1,000 meg up and 1,000 meg down at my house for like $80 a month. So I'm like crazy spoiled. I could publish crazy high quality content because we get a gigabit up and a gigabit down. But most people have about 100 up, 100 down, and they pay like $50 a month. But depending on your setup and your resolution, obviously the high resolution, the higher bit rate you want to do. But 4 megabits for a 1080 is a decent quality. Obviously, you can always play with that and see how the compression works. I mean, the guidelines are typically a lot higher than that, but many churches just don't have the bandwidth to be able to publish that high quality. Roderick, I use vMix in our media room with a Blackmagic Duo 2 that has 4 SDI inputs. Awesome. I want to set up small studios in other offices. What do you suggest to get camera connections back to media room? That is a great question. And you know the answer to that is you can use, well, there's a couple ways you can do it, but if you've got a good network infrastructure, you can use NDI. So if you've got I guess there's a couple things. If you have cameras in those other offices, cameras with computers, you can bring those cameras into the computer, into vMix, and then vMix can actually make those camera inputs available on the network via NDI to any other vMix session. So you can actually be sending that camera everywhere, and then everybody who's got a vMix session open and a camera connected can be passing it to you. They also make some NDI boxes. So basically you could plug an HDMI into in this NDI box, plug that in your network, and so you can literally make a camera available anywhere on your network. So say you have like you know, an overflow room or a studio, you can buy an NDI box. I know Bird Dog makes one of them. There's a couple different companies that make them. I think they're typically between like $500 and $1,000. But you could plug that camera into the box, and then that box makes that video available on the network for all of your NDI-enabled softwares, which would be vMix. Or you could run, you know, HDMI or SDI over Cat5. You know, if you've got, you know, some home runs to wherever your studio is, you could do that as well. Mike Todd asks, excuse me, we want to purchase or build a PC dedicated to live stream. What specs would you recommend? So it depends, Mike. How many cameras do you want to do? Do you want to have the ability to expand semi-quickly for more cameras? It all depends. So I'm going to bring your guys' attention to a great resource on the vMix website, and I'm going to put it down here. vMix actually put together these reference systems, and what they do is they basically give you all of the parts that you need to go and buy to be able to build a system and know how many camera inputs you can do. So I'm going to go to their website here really quick, and if you go into hold on, let's go down. So right here there's this reference system. If you click that, it's going to show you these different systems. So like, for example, this is the Ruby camera system. So this can do 8 cameras with 4 cameras of instant replay. And I'm going to zoom in just a little bit so you guys can see it. All right. So this one is 8 SDI cameras. And if you scroll down, it's not going to let me scroll down, is it now? If you go into, if you go down, it'll show you all of the parts. Here are all of the parts that you have to buy to build this, and it tells you all of the things that you can do with this system. Here's the Opal. This will do 4 HDMI or 4 SDI cameras, and it can do up to 4 network sources over NDI. And then here are literally all the parts that you need to buy to go and build that machine for yourself. So it all depends. Here's that Obsidian system. This is the one. This is crazy. So this can do 6 4K cameras or 24 HD cameras, and it can stream in up to 4K. And this thing is a beast. This thing is awesome. So if you go to the vMix website, go to the reference systems, and it'll actually give you the parts to buy all of those pieces of the computer that you can put together and build your streaming computer. Marisol Cruz, God bless you. Good to see you. She's got a question. Hi, I got Mevo camera. What can I do to get better sound when the worship is loud and it don't sound right? So one of the glaring things of taking your main left and right feed of your audio is going to be finding out how you're really mixing your sound. So as you're mixing and you're like, oh, hey, it sounds great in the sanctuary, but then you listen to the live stream and you're like, oh my goodness, this sounds awful. Many times that's indicative of poor mixing, right? If you really like close your eyes and you listen to your sound in your auditorium or your sanctuary or wherever you're at, you can really tell what sticks out. And most of the time that I see is that vocals tend to be too loud in the sanctuary. And so one of the things that I've really done is I've pulled back some vocals and really tried to listen, because a lot of times when you listen and you think about the relation of the different things coming through the stream or through your mains, you're thinking, wow, those voices are actually pretty loud. And then you bring them down maybe 2, 3, 4 decibels on your faders, and you think, okay, now it sits a little bit better, because a lot of times you have your mix and a lot of stuff is here, and then your vocals are like boom, way out in front, because you want to hear those super loud. Now there's nothing wrong with wanting those vocals to pop out, but if you really have them pop out in your main mix, then when you go to stream, it's going to be like, whoa, and you might have like your bass is super quiet, and then your drums are medium, and then your guitar is like crazy loud. Your live stream is going to be a great indication on how well your auditorium, your sanctuary is getting mixed during worship. So what I would encourage you to do is a couple things, and I'll get into this in my audio video on setting up your audio for stream, but run an aux send from your board. and run it post fader. So what it means is, so if like here's your knob and here's your dial for your aux on your board, what post fade means is, so say this is your fader and then this is the knob for the aux. Post fade means as you turn your fader up, it's actually going to turn your aux up. So as you're doing that, they're connected. So as you turn the fader up, it's going to turn it up and down on that little knob dial for that aux out, or for that aux output. So what I suggest is, if you're going to go the aux route, you want to have everything in that aux leveled at unity, right? Which means everything is the same feed. So if you took an aux and put everything at noon, typically the boards will be noon for the middle. If you set everything at noon, you're essentially going to send your stream exactly what's happening in your live, in your sanctuary. That's going to give you your board left and right feed. So what I tend to do, just to get the levels equaled out, is I'll put everything at the same level except for the pastor's mic. And hopefully you have a dedicated pastor's mic. What I'll do is I'll take the pastor's mic and I'll turn the pastor's mic up maybe like 5 to even 10 decibels above everything else, because you've got your worship audio here and it's like cranking, man. You got great worship and it's loud. And then your pastor comes in and they start talking. There's no way that your pastor's volume through the speakers is going to be the same as your worship band. Your worship band's going to be way louder than your pastor. So turning that pastor up in your aux feed is, it's going to level it out and it's going to bring it to a similar area of volume. So hopefully that helps. And again, depending on what you're streaming out to, if you're using vMix or Wirecast, I think, and OBS, I think all of them support plugins. I would get you using plugins, do some compression, do some maximizing to make sure that mix gets super tight. Let's see, Mark Heppy says, I've been told HDMI cables have a slight audio video sync delay regardless of video capture device. Do you have any issue with audio video sync? I notice it more on Facebook than YouTube. There shouldn't, when it comes to a capture device, you're obviously going to have the latency of bringing audio into, or excuse me, bringing your video into vMix or whatever you're bringing it into, because it's going to have to capture it. But on the same token, depending on how you're capturing your audio, you might have a buffer. Like if you're using like a X32 or some sort of digital device, it might have like a buffer of 512 or 1024 samples, which could be, a little bit of a delay to where it ends up matching up right on. But if there is a significant delay, you can either use, like say in the X32, there's a delay feature, so you can actually delay outputs. So if there's a delay in your video and your audio is coming in early, you can set a delay on your audio coming out of the board so that you can play with that until they match up, or vice versa. If you need to slow down or whatever your video in vMix, you can set those delays both for video and audio within vMix, and I think Wirecast might do that as well. But I would be doing some clap tests and really trying to dial that in, doing that. I'm going to have to read up on the vMix audio plugins thing. Didn't know vMix was that powerful. Yes, vMix is crazy powerful. If you're just joining us, I'm going to show you again that audio mixer plugin that I'm using. My favorite brand is Waves. Waves is a great audio plugin company. I'm just going to show you what I've got going on here. So inside of vMix, so I've clicked on my master audio settings right here, and I go to plugins. And then what that is going to do, I'm gonna zoom in on this feed a little bit so you can see. All right, so I've got this max volume. So I'm gonna show you what my settings are at right now, and I'm gonna show you what it does turning it off and on. So right now the volume, or the plugin is off. The plugin is off. Listen to the volume of my voice. And now the plugin is on. Now the plugin is on, and you can see that a lot of those lower volumes, it's going to be pushing up. And it's I can really push it high if I want to. I can also do a little bit of downwards compression, get a little more compression, and really push my volume. So right now I've got some pretty rockin' audio as I'm looking at my feed here. You can see, that's a pretty strong audio feed. And when I turn it off, you can see that the voice, or the levels, are not quite as much. If I turn it back on, you can see that I'm rocking really close up to the top, sounding really good, getting a lot more thick, beefy audio. And then I turn it off and it's not quite the same, not quite as thick and beefy audio. So max volume is a great tool for broadcast. I really enjoy it. And then you can do another one that's called the L3-LL. That stands for the L3 low latency model, and it's a brick wall limiter and a maximizer. So it really will maximize the amount of volume that you're able to bust out of. Let's get this. There we go. Sorry about that. No sound. My wife came in and told me that I accidentally had my sound off. So 2 iPhones using the NDI camera app. They both had different video delays. That's the problem with using a lot of times Wi-Fi. So if you're trying to do Wi-Fi with an unstable network, a lot of times the cameras are going to be out of sync. But when you have something like a PTZ optics camera or something with NDI on the device and it's hardwired, then your latency and your delay is going to be really close. But it's going to be really hard because you're going to be running off of your wireless connection, which makes it hard, and you're sort of at the mercy of your Wi-Fi connection. Okay, thank you for all of those comments. My wife told me that my audio was off, so I think it's back on now. So we'll just give it just a couple more minutes, and then I'm going to get going. I got to work on this audio one as well, or this audio video coming up. But thank you guys so much for streaming. Just pray that your guys' video streaming is going well, that you can figure out everything you want to do. If anybody has any other questions, please let me know. Would love to be able to help you before we get going here. We'll just give it a couple more seconds and then we will sign off for the day. Let's go back, see if there's anybody I missed. All right. Roderick, God bless you. Good to see you, bud. Appreciate it. Well, that's going to be it for now. Thank you guys so much for watching, and please support this channel if you can. It means a lot to us, and you can do that by hitting the like button. If you're not already subscribed, hit the subscribe button, and share these videos. We've got some other videos that we have. It's just we put a lot of production into our videos, and a lot of times it can take a lot of time. But given everything going on with COVID, that we've really been pushing to release more videos more regularly to help all of the churches that are trying to stream. Brenda Meyer, God bless you. Hi to your wife. I got an amazing wife. She's awesome. Amazing kids. But God bless you. Thank you guys for watching. We'll catch you guys next time. And just prepare for the upcoming week. And just trust in God, right? Have faith. Don't live in fear, right? There are things that are bigger than this virus and more important than this virus. And just keep proclaiming the gospel. Keep encouraging your team. Keep connection. Keep that physical touch. I know you're not supposed to like physically touching each other, but make a touch base. Even if it's a phone call, a text message, check on your people. Because this is a time where people are going to get isolated. They're going to be lonely. They're going to be struggling with things. So check on your people, encourage your people, and just keep preparing for the upcoming Sunday. It's Easter, and life is coming. We live in a spirit, the Holy Spirit, that is a spirit of life, and there's life coming this Sunday. Even though we're quarantined and you might not be physically at your building, this is an opportunity to rest in that spirit of life, that Jesus has conquered the grave, that death no longer has its sting because we have life in Jesus Christ. So God bless you all. Thank you guys so much for joining. Oh, God bless you, Roderick. Or Ronderick for that donation. Appreciate it. God bless you, brother. And thank you guys so much. And if you have any other questions, leave them in the comment section below, and we'll do our best to be able to answer those questions and help you out. So God bless you. We'll talk to you guys soon.